died, right? Go ahead and read on.
And said, take, eat. This is my body.
Now I told you that on the night that I was betrayed, he took bread and brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body. Go ahead and read on.
Which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me.
And he said, this you do in remembrance of me. Go ahead and read on.
After the same manner also, he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood.
Go ahead.
This do ye, as oft as ye drink it, in remembrance of me.
See, this is what they messed up. He said, as oft as you do it. He didn't say do it often. See, they read this. And you said, well, why do you do it every Sunday? Because he said do it often. No, he didn't say do it often. He said as often as you do it in remembrance of me. And how often are you supposed to do it? On the Passover? That's the only day he did it on, right? He didn't do it every Sunday, did he?
Nope.
I ain't never read in the Bible where the only time I ever read that he did it was on the Passover day. I ain't never read where he did it no other day. So now he said, this do as often as you do it in remembrance of me. How often did he do it? He did it on the Passover day. And what is that he wants you to remember? He going to tell you. Go ahead and read.
For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup,
go ahead,
ye do show the Lord's death till he come.
What day did he die? Passover day. So he says, often as you do it, you do show the Lord's death until he come. This is a memorial to his death. That is why you keep the Passover. You are reminded that he died for your sins on this day. So every Passover, you sit down and you eat the bread and you drink the wine, and you are reminded that my Lord died for my sins on this day. We got just thank you, once a year. That's on. He didn't die but once, did he?
That's right.
That was on past. He didn't die every third Sunday, did he?
Nope.
Did he die every first Sunday?
Nope.
Well, he didn't die every Sunday either, did he?
Nah.
He just died on one day, right? And that was Passover day, right? So you keeping a memorial to his death. I quoted something earlier. Let's go and read it. Let's go to Acts chapter 20. We gonna close it out. You understand what this day is about.
That's right.
And I just want to show you this. That long after Jesus died, they were still keeping it. Because the Lord said forever, throughout all generations, in all of your dwellings. And that is what he meant. But seeing how he nailed the animal sacrifice law to the cross, and you still have to keep it, now you do it by eating the bread and drinking the wine that he told you about on the Passover day, on the day in which he died. Many generations after Jesus had died on the cross. Pick it up at verse 6. Acts 20, verse 6. Go ahead and read.
And we sailed away from Philippi.
Now this was Paul and his companions here. And he said, and we sailed away from Philippi. Go ahead and read.
After the days of unleavened bread.
After whose days?
The days of unleavened bread.
After the days of unleavened bread. Thank you. So they were still doing it then.
Right.
Long after Jesus died on the cross. They were still doing the days of unleavened bread. Since we're here, I got to read this. Go ahead and read on.
And came unto them to Troas in 5 days.
Go ahead.
Where we abode 7 days. And upon the first day of the week.
Upon the first day of the week. Go ahead and read.
When the disciples came together to break bread.
Not when they came together to keep the Sabbath day, but when they came together to break bread. Because they like to read this too. They tell you this means that the first day is the Sabbath day. But notice, what did it say? Did it say that they came together to keep the Sabbath day or to break bread?
To break bread.
To break bread. Go ahead and read.
Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow, and continue his speech until midnight.
I just got to ask you one question. How do you get first day of the week, Sabbath day out of that? You don't even find the word Sabbath day mentioned in there. All it said, they came together, broke some bread, and Paul preached to some people. You don't get it, do you? But now, you know they were still keeping the days of unleavened bread here then, right? It was long after Jesus died. I'm going to just show you what else they were still keeping too. Because this is what follows the days of unleavened bread, and we will be keeping it too. Because it is one of the days that God commanded that we observe. Skip down to verse 16. Go ahead and read. Since you want to be a follower of Paul. He kept the days of unleavened bread. Why don't you keep it then? You said, you know, we're under his dispensation. That's what you told me. Go ahead and read.
He said, for Paul had determined to sail by Ephesus because he would not spend the time in Asia, for he hastened, if it were possible for him, to be at Jerusalem the day of Pentecost.
So now, that is another one, isn't it?
That's right.
So now the Lord said forever throughout all generations, right? So they kept it in the old, didn't they?
That's right.
And Jesus kept it in the new too, didn't he?
That's right.
And now Paul kept it in the new, and you can read where Peter and the rest of them, they kept it in the new too. And I'm going to show you for the next generation. Let's go to, this will be last. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 45. This is when the Lord returned. And we're going to read just one verse. Ezekiel 45, and we will pick it up at verse 21. Go ahead and read it.
In the first month, in the 14th day of the month,
which is the Passover. Go ahead and read.
You shall have the Passover.
You shall have the Passover. So they did it in the Old Testament generations.
That's right.
And they did it in the New Testament generations.
That's right.
And then when the Lord returned, they will still be doing it in the generations. Go ahead and finish that up.
He said, a feast of 7 days, 11 breads shall be eaten.
Thank you very much. So now, you understand what this night is really all about. So when you take this bread and this wine, you will understand what it is that you are partaking in.